Let's head over to Ukraine now, to the advisor to the Ukrainian Defence Minister, Yuriy. He's there and joins us now. Yuriy, many thanks for your time. And firstly, your response to the President's speech this week.
Hello, Erin, and many thanks for inviting me. Before I comment on your question, I would like to say that listening to your reporting just now gives me a clear understanding of what we knew for such a long time, that Australia is indeed one of the strongest Ukrainian partners in this battle for freedom. And we as a people are very grateful to Australia and Australian people and Australian government for the support that we are receiving, which I'm sure we will have an opportunity to discuss in a bit more detail in a while. But as for the announcement of the partial mobilization in Russia by their leader, of course, it's a sign of desperation and weakness. Since the beginning of September, Ukrainian army was very successful at conducting counter-offensive operations in the Kharkiv region as well as in Kherson region. So the fact that they need now to mobilize what they've said, 300,000 new soldiers, those unprepared soldiers, means that we are right when we're saying that the Russian army at the moment, those who are on the battlefield, they are degraded, they're demoralized, and they're falling apart. At the same time, I must say that we are not euphoric. And the worst mistake that you can do when you're on a battlefield is to underestimate your enemy. So we must not be complacent. And when I say we, I mean both Ukraine and our international allies. We must not think that this is over, because as you know, it is not over until it's over. So 300,000 new conscripts, even if they're unwilling to fight, it is still a force to be reckoned with. And what I have to underline here is that, of course, Putin and his propaganda machine and his army, they are not intended to stop in Ukraine. This is a threat, and you rightly said that we are fighting for the future of Europe. And I'm very grateful that when you began this reporting, you said that this is a war in Europe. So Putin is not planning to stop. And we hope and we are almost confident that our allies understand this. So, the next stages will be decisive, and we need the support of our allies.
Absolutely. No, you're so correct on that. And people need to understand that it impacts far greater a region than even just Europe, to be honest. The whole world is at stake here to a degree. Looking at your president, he's come out and said that he's urging the reservists who do not want to fight to sabotage from within. How realistic a prospect is that? He's also invited them to come over the border to Ukraine. Can you see that actually happening?
We do not have yet information about the exact instances, but of course, I'm sure you have seen that there are long, sometimes up to 16 kilometers queues on the borders, with Finland, Russia, with Finland, with Georgia, with Belarus, with Baltic republics. And of course, there are thousands of those who are subject to mobilization who are willing to flee. And of course, this shows, the fact that these people are fleeing, this massive exodus. It just shows that Russia, in its present shape and form, does not have a future, because its future actually is trying to leave its territory. On the other hand, Ukrainian army, we are fighting for our land. We are fighting for our families. We have seen atrocities on a scale that was unseen after the Second World War. And we are confident that we can win. And as our Minister of Defense, Mr. Alexei Reznikov, keeps repeating to our allies, give us the tools and we will finish the job. And I would like to use this opportunity to also highlight that the support of the Australian government, which was facilitated by the Ukrainian embassy in Australia, in the form of Bushmasters, have been absolutely fantastic and spectacular. The Bushmasters have been used very efficiently by our army during the Kharkiv counteroffensive. They've been on the front lines and they've been magnificent. So thank you very much again for this support. And please bear in mind that we need more of this support at this stage. And in particular, we know that you have another magnificent military vehicle, which is called Hauki. And, we encourage your government to consider supporting Ukraine by sending us more of those as well.